Hello guys and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to Forex. So in this class my goal is really to help you create your first trading strategy, and we're gonna do it step by step. You'll see it's gonna be really easy. We'll use indicators and a bit of price action to set up your take profit and your stop loss as well. Alright, besides of that, we are also going to talk about where you can put your results, because you want to look at all your results about your trading, and I'll show you the small Excel file that you guys can do to be able to look at your results after that. Alright, so until now we talked about the fundamentals, technicals, and money management, so you guys should have a good understanding of the indicators that we talked about. For the first strategy that we are gonna use today, we will only use one indicator and a bit of price action to set up the take profit and the stop loss. So the first thing we are gonna do is simply go here, click on insert, indicators, and we'll insert the MACD, which is just there. Alright, so you guys have the MACD or the MACD just there, and our goal, how the strategy will work, our entry point will simply be when the histogram changes. So let's say, for example, we are somewhere here. Our entry point will be there. So right here, the histogram goes from buy to sell signal. So right here, we have our sell signal. We are going to sell just there. So right now we have our entry point. So we know exactly where we will enter the trade. The next thing that we need to understand is where we'll put our stop loss and where exactly we'll put our take profit. So my goal right here is really to have a strategy that can bring money in the long term, and not a strategy that just works for one or two trades. So basically my take profit will be something around 142. So for each risk of 1 pip, I want to make 2 pips. So this is a minimum. So it will be 142 or 142 and a half. If it's too low, well, I will not make money on the long run. And if it's too high, once again, I will have a lower winning rate for my trades. So how exactly will I set up my stop loss or my take profit? So once again, let's take another example. So let's say we are here and we are opening our trade somewhere there. So here is our opening. Sorry, not here, just there. So the first histogram that is on the other side. So we are opening up our trade here. Here we have our opening. Our stop loss will simply be the highest point of the 3 previous candles. So in this case, we have our 3 candles, 1, 2, and 3. So this will be our support. We don't want to go higher than this. So we are ready to take a risk that goes from here to there. So this is our risk. We have a risk of, in this case, 73 pips. Once again, this is an hourly chart. If you're working with smaller charts, maybe you will have a lower risk. If you're working with higher charts, well, maybe you will have a greater risk. So as I said, your risk will be something about 73 pips. The next thing you guys want to do is set up your reward. So as I said, the reward will be at least 2 times the risk. So if we place our trade here, our reward should be around 140 pips, which in this case is there. So here we have our reward. All right, amazing. So we have our trade, which will open there. Our risk will be here. Our reward will be here. So we have an interesting trade, and our profit on this trade would have been 140 pips, which is an interesting profit and a nice risk reward. But don't forget, this type of strategy doesn't win 100% of times. You will have losses, and you will need to have a good money management to be able to handle everything. But let's say, for example, you risk 2% of your capital here, you would have made 4% in this trade, which is a really good thing. If you have let's say, if you have $100,000 of capital, you just made $4,000 in a matter of some hours. All right, let's find out another place. So let's go, for example, here to see if it works. So at this place right there, we have our, let's say we have another place where we can place the trade. So our trade will be here. And once again, our stop loss will be somewhere, will be the highest point of the three past, the three last candles. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, we have our stop loss that will be here. And our take profit would be at least, we want a take profit of 2 for 1. So in this case, we have 71 pip if we win. So we need to have 140 pip if we lose, we have 71 pips. So we need to have 140 pips if we win. So it's gonna be somewhere around here. All right, here we go. We have our win. All right, so what's gonna happen there? As you can see, it goes against us at first, but then it comes back, it goes in the loss, and the trade wins here. So we will close our trade. It took us how much time? It took us 7 days, something around, well, a bit more than 7 days. In this case, no, it took us 3 days. So as you can see, in 3 days, our trade have been closed. So in 3 days, we just made 140 pips. Once again, so you understand how it works. Right now, when you start, well, when you just start with this strategy, as I said, what you want to do is write down your results. So how you will write down your results, what I'll ask you guys to do is simply create an Excel document where you will write down, copy the document that I'm using. So you write down entry of the trade, exit of the trade, the dates of the entry, the hours of the entry. So for our first example right here, in our entry, we will have right this moment right here. So it's gonna be the 10th of March at 6 a.m. So we can write it down on our chart. So simply write down the 10th of March, hour 6 a.m. And the closing of our trade was the 13th of March. So in this case, the closing date was 13 March, and our hour of closing in this case was at 15, so 14 hours. So the total time of the trade in this case was something around 3 days. So we know that the trade was 3 days, and the profit on this trade was 140 pips. So we can put a green color if it's profit. So as you can see, guys, your trading journal can look something as simple as this, and you can even check after that. Well, you can check your trades after that and look how your trading strategy is. Well, is it bringing you money or you are losing money with it? Next thing that you guys want to do right now that we have the strategy, we created it. Next thing that you guys want to do is backtest the strategy. So very simple. What you guys do, simply zoom out, go back at least 6 months, and you can start backtesting your strategy from somewhere here, from somewhere here. So I went out around a year, but you can start backtesting somewhere, let's say 9 months ago, 7 months ago. It should be good. So simply start backtesting, and at the end you will know if your strategy can bring you money on the long run, or at least if it brings you money in the past 1 year. In this case, you will know that it survived the last year market conditions. But if you want to have good results, the best thing to do is always to come back at least 6 months, well, more than 6 months. So you can come back 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in the back and simply backtest your strategy. All right, so that's it for this course, guys. We saw our first strategy, and see all in our next class where we are gonna create our second trading strategy.